Some of the early plane shapes were quite boxy. A lot of the World War I planes were very boxy, and so was the Spirit of St. Louis. Not many curves to that. Makes it easier to cover for a balsa builder. I think I covered the one whole side in one piece, and one piece for the whole bottom along here. So yeah, that wasn't a whole lot of a challenge. But when I'm now continuing to cover the AT-6, this one, you know, we've got a lot of compound curves, and the fuselage is much more streamlined as they got faster and more powerful. People figured out that streamline was better for performance, and so that translates to us in a challenge, a little bit more of a challenge to cover these curves and get them looking nice. I haven't sprayed this yet, but I'm covering this piece in this fuselage in sections, here, 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 and I'm working on this one right now. And I've also just finished the one on the back side here. This is one piece. This stays open for the stabilizer to lay across there. On the bottom, I've left this open because I haven't talked much about the landing gear issue for a while, but I have still not been able to get that landing gear to drop. But I'm running out of time and patience, and so I'm going to go ahead and cover and assemble and test again. So I'm leaving this open as sort of an inspection port so that I can maybe get in there and make sure that I've got things still lined up and rigged properly, and just in case if I have to replace a rubber band, that's the only way I'm going to get back in there to get on that rubber band on that hook. I have a rubber band on it right now. I have two loops of rubber that I'm going to use on the this is the final rubber I'm going to use, and that's just being held in place here by this little cross piece. So I'm going to cover with that rubber in its final location. So as you cover in strips like this, I'm in a position right now where I've got a seam to paint on my adhesive, and it's this piece right here, this curved piece here where the wing goes in. It mounts on top of the wing like this. So I have to trim this excess paper off. After it dries, I'm going to paint on very carefully my adhesive that goes right. Let me grab this a little bit differently. Yeah, right in there. So we paint that right along here, and it's being held in place by that tacky glue. That this stuff is being held in place by that. But now I come through and I add this, and this is a more permanent bond, and it's cut with water. So this is just white Elmer's glue cut 50-50 with water, and it soaks through the tissue and provides a pretty good bond. So you want to make sure that you get a good coating on that, and that it's sticking pretty well, and you kind of run your finger along that to make sure you've got a good adhesion. That's not too bad. And then again, we come back after this dries and trim off the excess. Come on, stay on there. There you go. You got to make sure you get enough on there to soak through. I've already painted these seams on. So, this is the last one for this section, the last seam to be painted on here. Oh, and I'm trying to make sure that that's got a good coat on it. And it's laying flat. Sometimes I kind of rub it with a smooth edge like this if I don't think my finger has done a good enough job. Very carefully. And this is like handling eggs. You can't squeeze it too hard. You can't hold it too firm, just firm enough. Otherwise you'll just crush the whole thing. Your fingers go right through the paper. So, yeah, it's starting to look better. Okay, yeah, just a skosh more, I think. Okay. All right. Make sure that there's no huge wrinkles in that. All right. So, whoop, hang on there. Just kind of wiping any excess glue that I have off my hand. While that's drying, I'm going to flip this over, start working on trimming the excess off of this side with my straight edge. So when I glued this on, I lined this edge up on my overlap edge, but then I have excess here, here, and here. And so I can trim that off, and then I'll add my next piece on here, and probably another piece on here because of that compound curve in here that makes it kind of challenging to cover that all in one piece. I don't think I can do that. I'll go from former to former with two more strips there and there before I finish that. And then I'll probably only come up to this line right here and then add a final piece on the top. That's what I did over here on this back side. I covered up to here, that runner, and then added this final piece on the top here, and then very carefully cut the angle around the back of the cockpit area. So, I mean, it's tedious, but in the long run, I think it pays off pretty nicely. So, anyway, onward.